All right. Hello, everyone. Super excited to end the year out this December with a very cool entrepreneur named Layton. Hello, Tiffany.
Hi, Beth.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for your time.
Good.
Thank you so much for being willing to do this and share your insights as a businesswoman with our other entrepreneurs. So we'll start by introducing you and then we'll get right into our business conversation. What do you think?
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right. Sounds good. So, everyone, Tiffany Layton is an engineer who has become an enthusiastic math tutor. Her love for math and her love for helping others is leading her on an exciting journey, which includes publishing her workbook series, Practice Makes Genius, and her books, Love Plus Math and No Math Today. Yes, she is a math genius. So I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about who you are as a businesswoman and even who you are as a businesswoman in the STEM field, because I think you might be my first STEM entrepreneur
Oh, really? Okay,
to be
awesome.
featured. Yes,
Awesome.
I think.
That's cool. That's cool. So, as stated, I am an industrial engineer by degree. Graduated from, I got my undergrad from The Ohio State University and my master's from Youngstown State University. From there, I worked in the field until I ended up being diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And so that caused me to have not be able to work in the field as much because of the rheumatoid and the different aspects of that. But that didn't stop my brain from working, and it didn't stop me from wanting to do more and share what I had. So I started to go into just to basically so that I wouldn't be sitting around doing nothing. I said maybe I'll start tutoring. So I start tutoring students, kind of just doing it with a lot of friends, not trying to do it as a business and make a lot of money. I was just doing it because I wanted to help. And I love math. And so I was trying to help others. From there, during COVID, I always wanted to write a book. And so I said, let's try it. So I was sitting there one time, I went on YouTube and I wrote my first book, Love Plus Math. And actually, I wrote it up when I woke up one morning because I do my best thinking in the morning. So I actually wrote the book in the morning and then went back and see, well, how do I get it published? So that's where I went to YouTube University and got it published, my first book. Once I saw that it wasn't too difficult, there were a lot of things I've learned though in the process now. But from there, I said, I have a lot of students. I'm always going on and I'm looking for worksheets for them because they need to practice. And so in doing that, I said, you know what, why don't I create my own workbook? You know? And so I was trying to figure that out and trying to see what was out there. And I found some tools. Actually, I made my own tools to create my workbook
Oh,
using
okay.
my skills I have. And I created a workbook. It's like a workbook generator I have. And from there, I was able to create my Practice Makes Genius series. So from there, I was also able to not only create that, but then I said, I want to get it trademarked. So that's what we're in the process of right now, getting Practice Makes Genius trademark. A lot of this, I'm just learning. I'm doing it and I'm just taking all my knowledge. I have a great support team behind me of other authors, other entrepreneurs, STEMpreneurs, and they're helping me out with this. And so just doing it together. From there, I also wrote another book called No Math Today, which is it's a book close to my heart. It's about Savannah who goes through the day and tries to avoid math, but can she?
That's
So
like
that's what I've been
me.
doing. Right. So that's me. That's I probably answered too much, but that's me. Mhm.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it because it literally what you said, especially at the end, does sound like me. And I think what you did, which was brilliant, you didn't mean to start a business exactly. You started serving other people. And I think that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs miss. They have this idea and then they're like, oh, I'm going to use it to make billions of dollars, but they haven't figured out what it is that people need. And so you actually did it. You just started with your idea. You just went for it. I love that. And you were serving people doing it. and it's kind of evolved now into a business, which is so cool.
Yes, yes. I'm very grateful for that.
Yes. And then you also said something like very important, which I think is good for entrepreneurs to know is that it's okay if we don't know it all. I think sometimes people are like, I don't know everything. I don't want to start. And that holds them back because they want to get like everything lined up perfectly. But you just kind of went for it. And now there might be some things you're backtracking on, but you said you
Oh
have some
yeah.
friends. So it's also so important who we have around us. Like you have friends
Mhm.
who let you know, someone let you know, hey, Tiffany, this is a really great series. Practice makes genius. This needs to be trademarked. So I'm glad you're now
Mhm.
going through the legal process to protect this.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so like I said, just a great super support team. Oh my goodness, just great. I have so many people that I've been grateful to have, and I try to give back the same as well. You say you receive freely, you give freely. And so that's what I
Yeah.
try to do.
Yes, to whom much is given, much is also required. So if we're given a lot, we're required to give out as well. Yes. I'm curious, did the people who you are using as mentors, whether they're formal or informal, your friends, are those people who you intentionally reached out and created connections with, or are those people who are already were in your life supporting you?
Oh, they were people I reached out to. So I got on Instagram. And I started my math tutor Tiff, mathtutor.tiff on Instagram. And I just would post problems that I was doing and post me tutoring and things like that. And I also did a lot of research. I'm going through and I'm researching different people. And Tiffany Teachy is my first person I came across. And she's excellent. She has been my support throughout all of this. And I just reached out to her one day and I said, hey, I see you do interviews, and she needed some people to interview. I says, hey, I'll be interested in that. And so from there, we developed a great mentorship. And so from there, she doesn't know it, but I call her my mentor because she's really helped
Love
me throughout
now.
the process. She does so many great things in STEM. She has a great STEM magazine. And then from her, I met other people. I met so many people. Sugar Cookie Books, Tiffany, she's also a sugar. I know everybody has a Tiffany thing,
I was
but
gonna
I
say, you all have the same name. I love
oh,
it.
but yeah, and so she's a great person. Her Sugar Cookie Books is excellent. And she's helped me through a lot of things and helped me how to do this. Get your ISBN, do this, do that. And so many people. And then great support team, the Gamages. I was telling you about them. Mike and Barbara, excellent. Oh my goodness, so supportive. So I can keep going. I know I've missed. If I missed your name, I didn't mean to. There's so many people. You know, um, the Girls Who Brunch tour. Also, I just started mentoring and doing all these things with people because I met them all through Instagram. And what I did was I met a lot of great people, just like you. I met you through, it's
You
just like I'm
did.
meeting great people.
Yeah.
Um, and there are a lot of good people out there who really want to help and support. And they also are on the same thing that you're trying to do. You're trying to help and support others, and they're trying to do that as well. And so that's who I try to surround myself by.
Yeah.
But I try to really make it an aim of people who are out trying to do the same things that I want to do.
Yeah. You just made me think of something in terms of social media because it does get a bad reputation a lot and it can be very destructive to mental health if it's not
Mhm.
used properly. But I feel like we do get to choose how we use it and we get to choose who
Yes.
we follow. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying to not take a social media detox, but a lot of people do that. And sometimes I'm tempted to just like
Mhm.
disconnect. But
Yeah.
it does help if we intentionally create our community on social media. Then
Mhm.
it becomes
Yeah,
for
it really
us
does.
to help us and for us to help others. Like we can leverage it. We really can create our own community. It doesn't have to be taxing.
Yes. And one of the things I do, which probably is bad, but my thing is I want to surround myself by good people. So I have to admit, if I do get friend requests or people, even though I do look, I'm sorry, I'll look out and say, okay, what's your mission here? What's going on here? And if it's something I
Yeah.
just say, that's okay. And I know that's probably bad. I'm sorry for those who out there, if that happened to you, but that's just me. That's because I only want to, I don't want I don't need the follower. I mean, would love to have that for to make sure to be known for my books and everything, but I don't want just to have tens of thousands of followers of people that to me are not benefiting. We're not benefiting each other. We're not going to have that interchange. And so I do watch that, and that helps me also so
Yeah.
that I'm not overwhelmed by social media too,
Yes.
you know.
So you're
So
creating boundaries, like very
yeah.
intentional boundaries. And I feel like that has to be done. I feel like that could be a book, because a lot of for you, or maybe I'm supposed to write it. I don't know, but I don't know.
Hey,
But but
got you
especially for
back if you
young
want to.
people, since you're already in tutoring, I feel like that's like an important lesson, even like for young people who are finding it to be, like teenagers and younger are really depressed a lot of times because of social media. So creating that boundary and, oh well, I'm sorry if you feel some sort of way that I just blocked you or I unfollowed you, but I'm here for me and to
Right.
uplift others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And I just and that's the key. You have to create those boundaries, or it can be overwhelming. It can be all of those things. And I don't, like you said, for me, in that self-care, they call it self-care now. That's what I'm concerned about too. But again, I also want to benefit others. So like I have a lot of homeschool moms, and so that helps me as well. I'm in part of a homeschool mom groups and
Uh,
things like that. So I do that as well to give. And so I try to like I just created a team of my homeschool moms, and they're helping me with my workbooks and all of
yeah.
my books. So I shoot out stuff to them for free, no charge. Here, just check it
Oh,
out, see what you think. But that's that interchange. So we're helping each other. So that's my goal. That's what I strive to do. I try really hard. I'm not perfect, but I strive really hard to do that.
yes. Another great idea. I feel like I feel like you're just giving so many great ideas, but for people who are creating books or courses or different things, how like get in a group. You're in in homeschool moms groups, but get in a group of people who are in your field that you're reaching out to and test your items, right? And I think a lot
Mhm.
of times we're afraid to test it because then we're like, oh, someone's going to use it for free and I'm not going to get paid. But you're actually going to get paid because they're going to see how good this is. And then maybe they will buy the whole book eventually, or maybe they'll refer
Mhm.
you to other homeschool moms or whoever, because they'll be like,
Mhm.
Tiffany is creating great materials.
And I have to say, like I said, I'm on Amazon with my books and on Ingram Spark as well. So they're sold through Ingram Spark distributes to other places. I have to say that I've been blessed to have some decent sales on it. At least every day I look on my report and I got a sale. So
Nice.
thank you for that. But that's through that connections, those connections, just trying to different people and things like that. And so no, I'm not selling millions of books, but I'm
Not yet.
selling books to help others.
Not yet. So for parents whose children are feeling frustrated with math or science, but especially math, what are two tips that you have for parents to help their children feel more comfortable, less discouraged with the math, and at least appreciate it a little bit better?
Show them the math in their world. Share the math with them in their world. I was just thinking about this. So my dad, unfortunately, I lost my dad in 2019. My dad was the best. Oh my goodness. From the time I was a little, I was just thinking about, I said, man, he was always giving me stuff to do, challenging me at all times. I would be so upset by it. I remember one time I couldn't, while we were on vacation, I'm playing with my cousins, and he said, Tiffany, come up here. And I'm like, I thought I did something wrong. He gives me a whole sheet of math problems. And I couldn't play anymore until I finished up the sheet of math problems. And of course,
What's your point?
my cousin helps me the first time, right? My cousin, he helps me. And then he would go back, did he help you? I just I didn't. Next time I had to sit right there in front of him and do them. So it may seem like, oh my goodness, he was tortured. No, he wasn't. All that was training. All of that was training. And so those things, and I'm not telling parents to do those things, but I'm saying, and whatever you decide, however you decide, but just show them the math in their world. My dad, we would drive. And we're driving to New York because my dad, we always took family trips. So we're driving to Florida or wherever. Tiffany, I need to know how many miles I'm getting per gallon. And so I got to calculate that. And I'm using pen and
Oh,
paper, or Tiffany, my mom, we had a budget, when we go to the grocery store. My mom would be like, okay, I need you to, here's the calculator. You calculate, tell us where we're at, you know, as far as, the budget, how far am I going? She'll show me the price. Okay, that costs this much. So both my mom and my dad were very influential and just doing cool things. It wasn't, anything like, oh my gosh, but just show them the math in their world. It's so much math. There's math in the flowers, I tell people. Did you know that? You know,
there's
all of that.
symmetry. Yeah, probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Actually, exactly. The Fibonacci sequence with the petals, that's
Oh,
math. That's all part of math. So when you think about it, it's math and pineapples, again, Fibonacci sequence. So all of these things is math is all around you. Help the kids to see that. It doesn't take a lot. My dad was an electrician. So a lot of times he would like, Tiffany, measure this for me. And you're spending time with your kids. So it doesn't always have to be, it could be just different tasks that you're doing, include them in that. If you're
right.
writing a budget or you're trying to do your bills for the month, let them help you, especially for financing, things like that. So they
Yeah.
understand those things. So my thing is just include them and let them see the math in your world. A lot of parents say, well, I don't like math. It wasn't my subject. But guess what? You do math every day. When you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out how much time I need to get my kids ready for school, it's math.
Yeah.
Help them do it.
Yeah.
Set the clock for me. Set the alarm for me. All of that.
Yeah. I love it. And that's true. And I love flowers. So yeah, everything. It
You
it
didn't even know
does.
that. Something so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much math in it. Yeah. So now in terms of your workbooks, right? I know a lot of authors and they've mostly done storybooks, which you have done a few, but you've also published these workbooks. So for business owners who have like a workbook idea, maybe, but they're feeling a little intimidated on how to like get the lines or the spacing or the design layout or whatever. Um, are there any tools? I think you said at the beginning that you've created some of your own tools. I'm sure that helps that you're an
Mhm.
engineer to create tools, but are there any tools that you found really useful for actually making a workbook?
So for me, what I use, I just discovered there's some other tools out there, but the tool I use is Microsoft Excel.
Okay.
Part of the 365, nothing special, just Microsoft Excel. I have a template and it's a generator, the formula generator that I created. And so basically it creates the workbooks for me. I like Microsoft Excel because I don't have to worry about the lines. I don't have to worry about the making sure everything is lined up properly, and things like that. It's very easy. It already has the columns and everything like that. So it helps me. I
Okay.
use Microsoft Excel a lot. That's basically my thing. I do a lot of research. I go into to see how other people also I look to see, well, what are they doing? What looks good? I may go to someone on Amazon and they've got 4.8 stars and they've sold, I don't know how many books they've sold, but their reviews are a lot. I'll purchase that workbook. And
Yeah.
I'm not doing it to mimic them. I'm trying to see what makes it good.
Right.
They're the benchmark. So how,
Right.
most companies, your General Motors and we go for the benchmark.
Oh
If they're
yeah.
setting the benchmark, I want to see it. I want to look at it.
Right.
And so that's what I strive to do. So when I tell people I put a lot of love in it, I do. So like one workbook may take me a while because I'm actually going through it each time. I have a team of editors. We go through it and we go through the problems. Then I have the team of the moms, make sure everything makes sense because I'm making up games
Right.
sometimes. I'm doing it all just all through this generator that I have. So I use that to create my covers. I have a combination, which I'm having trouble with here. So I have a combination. And I think we talked about it. So I create my covers I have an illustrator and she's been amazing. And she's helped me with my first couple of covers. She gave me the template. I said, "Oh, you know how somebody says, oh, they cut my hair. They made it look easy. I can cut my own hair." And then you cut your hair bald, which has happened to me. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Because it made it look easy. But it was because they knew what they were doing. So I did that with a couple of my other Practice Makes Genius books. And I didn't have so much success from them. So I realized I need to stick with my illustrators. And so
yeah.
she helps me to make sure that I lay it out properly and professional because I'm not real. Um, I have I'm not creative when it comes to things like that. I can create a program for you. I can create software, but when it comes to making it look professional, pretty, and attractive, I have a hard time. So that she helps me with. So I use Fiverr. Fiverr
Okay.
is for my illustrator. I've got a connection with one, and so we've worked over time. She knows what I like, and we just go back and forth and we do that. She also helps me with a lot of things. So basically, it's Excel. My workbook, my puzzle workbook, I'm using Excel. I think I have, yeah, I think I use Excel even for my counted up book with the coins, which is a great book. Yeah, that one I've used. I stay in that format because I love how it lines everything up.
Yeah. I feel like people do judge a book by its cover, whether they should or
Yeah,
shouldn't. And
they do.
if the book looks professional, they're going to assume that you are professional and can teach their children these practice,
Hmm.
repetition like activities. And even if your content is great and the best ever created, if the book cover doesn't look professional, they're going to pass it by. Yeah.
And that's what's going on. So because I have one book, my multiplication and division book. I think it's great. But of course, I made it. I'm thinking it's a great book. I put a lot of great things into it. And it doesn't sell as much, but it's because I created the cover. So
Well, you can always, I understand. I hire someone to do my book covers too. You can always
mhm.
redesign it and do a second edition and just
Yeah,
the cover, and I'm
yeah,
sure it will fly off the shelves or fly off the
yeah.
printing presses rather.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, what do you feel is the biggest factor in your success so far?
Uh, I think the biggest factor is just for what's your why and focusing on your why and examining your why and making sure that it's a genuine why. If your
Yeah,
why is to get rich, then I'm not saying that's not genuine. It may be genuine for you, but what's your why? So when I say my why is to help others. I hate to see a child struggle. I hate to see people struggle in math. I hate to see, you know, um, someone say, I'm just not good at that. Me having rheumatoid arthritis, a lot of times people will put you in a box and say you can't do this or can't do that. And it's very discouraging and can be depressing as well.
yeah.
And so I want people to know you don't have to be in the box that other people try to put you in. You
No,
don't have to be. So my why is to help people see you can do it. You can do it. So you can excel. And I've chose math as my niche, and you can do that. You know, you can be good at math. You don't have, and then you don't have to be a professional at math. You don't have to be Tiffany, but guess what? You can be you and you can use those skills because math, yeah, it's about numbers, but guess what? It teaches you how to think and approach problems.
the
You can get this huge problem in math. And if you know the background and know the tools to know how to multiply, divide, subtract, and add, guess what? You can solve that huge problem. It's not so big. So think about life. I get this huge problem in life, and I look back and think about, okay, I have the skills to solve this problem. And that's what math does.
yeah. I feel like, and this might have been also my problem. And well, I have a couple problems. I'll switch numbers. If it says 332, I'll read it as 223 or something. Like I do weird things. Like I actually like rearrange the numbers. But everything like in school always came really quick to me. Like my mind was very quick, but like the instant answer in math was not always possible. And I think that's maybe where I got to the point where I would get stressed and shut down.
Mhm.
But the thing is, when I think about it, and I think of like your example with rheumatoid arthritis, there are different, and even in my life, other examples that like, just overcoming different obstacles, right? Those all will take like a little time to sit and think about, and like, what is my strategy going to be, and how am I going to overcome this, and how am I going to go around it and still get to where I want to go. But
Exactly.
somehow when it's like on a piece of paper, it's like I think it should be instant. But life, like the other problems in life aren't instant, and it's okay if it takes you a while to figure out the answer. And I always thought
So
like if I
true.
didn't know the answer immediately, something was maybe wrong with me. Like I also had some really bad math teachers. So
Yeah, unfortunately, and I love the teacher community. There are some, I think I was telling you before about my brother's college teacher. I mean, what's the purpose here? Are we striving to flunk them or are we striving to teach them? And you have to think about that. It goes back to what is your why? So it makes a good look. If my why is genuine, if my why is truly to help others, whatever the field is, it's going to come out in what I do.
yeah.
Look at you, your why is to help and strive to help business owners, and
Yeah.
get them out there and help. And so it comes out in what you do. That genuineness, comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. So be honest about your why. If you're on
Yeah.
if your why is really just to make money, just be honest. Don't pretend that it's to help people. Just be like, I just want to make some money. And here's something
Right.
that you can purchase so that I can do that.
Right.
Don't pretend.
And it's
Be honest.
funny because you get that and you can tell somebody had posted, of course, I get a lot of stuff that come across my page. And this one person posted, I'm making math songs. And I'm looking like, and if you would have saw it was just basically, okay, this is the latest thing, so I'm gonna do this. I'm like, really? You could feel it in their thing. And I sent it to one of my cousins and she goes, well, she said, I don't want to sing. I said, I don't want to hear none of his songs he's singing, But I'm just saying those are things that, it
Yeah.
comes out in what you do. It really does. You can even be successful at it for a little bit, but it'll show,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
but again, I'm not judging anybody else. If that's your why, but that's not my why.
No, it's important. We know our why, and I feel like honest. Yeah. So what does the next level of success look like for you?
Just continuing to help others, continue to be out there for my students. I like to hear them say, Tiffany, I got an A in my exam. I feel good. So, what I'm doing now is working on how to perfect my tutoring and
Uh,
my level of tutoring. So, I've been taking a lot of training and doing that and learning how to listen and ask questions. I learned something this is Socratic method. I learned yesterday, in one of my training
Socratic
courses, which
method.
is how to ask questions to
Yes.
get the answer, right? Instead of, telling the answers, how to ask questions. So
Yeah.
I just want to perfect that and to help students with that. Continue to my workbooks. My goal is I want to, right now I have the lower level. I'm up to middle school. I want to get up to high school, some high school workbooks. I want to do some geometry, trig, and algebra 2 workbooks. And so I'm taking my time and doing those because those do require a little more time the way I create them. So
Yeah.
just out there, just trying to hopefully touch some people if I can, and then,
Yes,
encourage them.
you will. You absolutely will. And I just know, like we spoke the other day, and like when I was teaching high school, it was so difficult. I was doing ESL and ELA and research, so mine was like more in like the language arts area with the English, not so much the math. But for all of the things, and especially math, the level of age appropriate stuff for
Mhm.
skill drills is like for little kids. And so it's so hard for high schoolers to get like age appropriate practice, like where
Mhm.
the graphics are age appropriate and everything, and the print
Mhm.
and the fonts. So I love that
Mhm.
you're getting ready to do something for the older kids because they get neglected, and a lot of
Mhm.
kids moving to the United States don't have the skill background, and
Mhm.
they need those skills. And
Yeah,
they need to
that
get
is
them
so
without
true.
seeing kindergarten material.
Right. And I think the reason why it's over, like it's so over saturated is because it's easy.
It is.
It's easy to write a workbook on 1 + 1 = 2. That's
Yeah,
easy, but when you're talking about x squared plus 3x plus 9, okay, whoa.
that's another level.
Right. So that's why you have that, and so that's where I do want to start. I definitely, that's my next book, doing that. And actually, it's so funny. I have his name is August, and he's out of Ohio, my hometown. And he is, I want to say kindergarten or first grade. And he's gonna help me with my algebra books. So isn't that
Whoa.
crazy?
I love that.
Yeah. So that kind of helps because it makes sure can someone, because he's really, really smart. So he's ready for algebra anyway. So
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And I talked to another mother as well. She's gonna help me. So yeah. And try to surround people. Hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have a test. Like comedians do that. They take it out and like test their
Yeah.
material in like
Mm-hmm.
dive bars to see what jokes
Right.
funny and not funny. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the same thing as an author in this case. Just having
Yeah.
your test subjects to like give you the feedback. Yeah.
Right. Mhm.
So in your opinion, what do you think the secret sauce is that most entrepreneurs or many entrepreneurs miss?
They don't just do it. They have this desire. They have the brains. They have the ability, but they limit themselves because they're afraid to just do it. They're afraid of what others will say, what others will do, if people will buy it. And so they don't extend themselves to their fullest potential. And so and that's all that's human. Sometimes we beat ourselves up. No
Yeah.
one's going to buy it, no one's going to do it, or the patience, because it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It does not happen overnight. It doesn't. It took me, like I said, I don't sell millions of books, but I sell a decent amount, and that took overnight. you know I mean, that, I'm so sorry, that did not
That did
take
not.
that did not happen overnight, because it took me a while to get there. And so a lot of people, they don't have the patience. They put that one book out there, and it's not selling, so I quit. No, get out there. You've got to network. You got to get to know people, and not under the presumption that I just want you to buy my book. No, be genuinely interested in them.
Yeah.
I think the more genuine you are, the more people are genuine with you.
Yeah. I love
So
it.
as an entrepreneur, I just be patient and your why. Be have a genuine why.
Just keep going and it will come.
Yes.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we do
Don't give
think it
up.
does happen overnight. I think going back to social media, because that's what we see. We see like all of everyone's highlight moments.
Yeah, you don't see the struggles.
We
You
talk,
don't see the struggles.
we
You're
talk,
not. They're not going to show you the struggles.
yeah,
You always talk about it's so funny. You'll talk about a relationship. See somebody in a relationship, thought they were happy. Yes, because they only showed you the happy
happy
moments. They
part.
didn't show you the struggling moments. And so it's like that with life. You don't show off the struggles. You show off the happy moments. When I was doing this and when I was doing that, great. Not when I was doing this bad. You know. And that's why social media, like you said, you know, you think you can do, or they make it seem like it's so this. And a lot of it, it's not true.
It's
A
not.
lot of it is not true. Like they'll tell you, I hate when I see this sometimes, and people might get upset with this, but you'll look and, oh, you can do electronic books. Look at this. And they'll give you this example, right? And they'll show you this example of this person because they have so many reviews or whatever. They sold this many books. And so let's multiply that by the time they made for the books. No, honey. I sold 100 books, but guess what? I made $1 for each book because I wanted to make it profitable. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's not true, but they make it seem like, oh, she sold it for $10. She made $1,000. And that's just a simple example, but that's
Right.
not true.
Right.
So they don't tell you that. So then you go out and make this book thinking you're going to make $10 a book, and you don't.
Oh gosh, no, you do not.
If you want to make it
Yeah.
affordable, you might make 50 cents a dollar a book. So Just be
Yeah,
real. That's why I talk about that honesty and that genuineness, because being genuine and being honest go hand in hand,
they
you
do.
know.
Yeah.
You have to be true because then, like you said, then other people think, oh, I'm not making, I know someone's like that. I'm not making any money. You just started, it takes time, and you got a network.
Yeah. And to make money, it's really almost like volume, like to make real money. It has
Oh,
to be like
yeah.
a high volume. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And it's very hard for indie authors.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It is very hard for the indie authors to uh, be the Judy Bloom status.
It's possible. It's definitely possible, but it does
Oh,
not
definitely.
happen. I think like you were saying, network, it does help when you know the right people,
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, yeah,
right? Knowing
definitely.
the right people will help you get where you're going. But
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, there's a lot of sweat equity that goes into it.
Oh, definitely. But that's anything that you want, anything worth having, and anything worth, enjoying in life is gonna, if anything does happen overnight, usually it doesn't last long, you
No,
know.
or it's been like something that's been building for 10 years,
Mhm. Right.
five
Yeah.
years,
If
10
it,
years.
yeah, it's like losing weight. If I lose weight, I drop all this weight off by not eating. As soon as I start eating, it's gonna, you know what I'm saying? But if I gradually do it by changing my diet, my lifestyle, those are different because now it's a habit. It's become now that's different. I like the
Uh,
weight stays off longer,
yeah,
so you
yeah,
just gotta be patient with things.
yeah. Patience. I love it. Thank you for all of your insights and your tips and
Thank you,
I love
Bev.
the patient, especially insight that you just shared. So tell people how they can connect with you. How can they purchase your journals? Did I
Okay,
say
so
journals?
my
Sorry, your workbooks
that's
and your
okay.
actual regular books. Yes.
Okay, so most everything is under Math Tutor Tiff. So my website is mathtutortiff.com. My email address is lovemath@mathtutortiff.com. My Instagram is mathtutor.tiff though. And that's because I made a mistake on Math Tutor Tiff. It's out there somewhere with a lost password.
Oh,
So it's mathtutor.tiff is my Instagram. Facebook Math Tutor Tiff again. And so my books are on Amazon. You can look up Math Tutor Tiff on Amazon or Practice Makes Genius on Amazon. No Math Today by Tiffany Michelle. So my author name is Tiffany Michelle with two L's.
oh.
Yeah, so my author name is different. My author name is different. My books I author is different from that, from Math Tutor Tiff. Um,
Michelle, Michelle.
yes, yes. Hmm.
Author name. Oh, that's good to know. I'm writing this down.
Yes, yes. And so that's my author name. So I'm on Amazon, and then of course on my website, there's all kind of links to get there as well.
Cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Before
Thank you,
we
Beth,
wrap,
for having me.
yes, it's been a joy to talk with you. But before we wrap, is there any last thoughts or insights or anything you'd like to share?
No, just don't give up.
Don't do it.
Don't give
Don't
up.
give up. Keep going.
Don't quit. Don't quit. My favorite poem. Don't quit.
Keep going.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I love everything you shared. So thank you so
Thank
much
you.
and have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Thanks.